Hey guys, how are you guys doing? It's one of those things that we say mindlessly, but as of recently, I'm finding myself like saying it and meaning every single word of it. How are you guys doing? I hope this finds you well. It's been a whole lot of craziness going on around the world. Some of us have it much difficult than the others. I was listening to BBC News yesterday, and they mentioned that in Italy they're having to have some of the police men and women go into hotels to retrieve beds, to get beds so that the patients in the hospital will have enough beds. They have that much overflow. Their hospitals are at capacity, so they're having to have their police forces, their policemen and women go into hotels to get extra beds to accommodate patients, because the amount of patients they have is entirely too much. It's too much than the hospitals can handle. And if you really think about that, there's specific machines in the ICU units, you know, there's ventilators that you just don't have. It's not one patient to one vents. And those are the kind of machines that will help you keep breathing, so to speak, keep alive. And you know that most of the hospitals, they only have enough to accommodate, some of them have enough to accommodate ICU beds. Some of them don't have enough to accommodate every single patient in that hospital. So if you take a look at it, you're having not enough machines to support the patients who are going to be in there. So I left my home today. This is how I'm doing. I left my home today. The plan was to go to Costco and get some coffee, because I noticed I ran out of coffee. I'm actually on my last cup right now. What I use is the instant coffee. So I just pour it, add hot water, and I'm good to go. So I ran out today and I worked nights. It's very important for me to have caffeine every single day, especially at my ride after work. So I thought the mayhem has died down a little bit. I know we had a period where people were like stocking up on tissues and water and all of that, and meanwhile that tissue one, I don't know who told people that that's the primary thing you need. If you're going to be on lockdown, you're not going to be pooping every day, and if you do, you can wash your ass. There is no reason for you to like pile up on all this, I guess, regular necessities. Then the people who actually need it don't have enough of it around. Worst case scenario, if you have to go, you can use water and rinse up, okay? And there's other things you can use to clean up aside from tissues. But yeah, it's still mayhem in the store. I went to Costco. I don't know if you guys can see the sign behind me. I went to Costco to get me some coffee, and there was a line outside. I waited about 5 minutes to get in, because I know they have this specific coffee. It's the Nescafe instant coffee that I use. I know they always have it in this business store, Costco. So I went in to get myself a Nescafe coffee, and people are still lined up like crazy. A lot of people are stocking up again on tissues. I don't understand. Anyway, and this Costco still had bottled water, but if you don't have bottled water, you can also get water from the water stations where you go in and refill your gallons. That's if you're, I know in Arizona here we have it. We have water stations where you pay, I think, $1.25 to fill up 5 gallons of water. So that one is still running. You can always use that. And worst case scenario, you don't have enough water, you can still drink from the tap. You can drink from the tap. If you're not in Detroit, you can drink from the tap. You can also boil your water if you choose to. You know, it makes it a little bit safer to drink. So the main thing is really hand washing. And just make sure you have your food, and also make sure you have your vitamins. My personal favorite is vitamin C. I always have that every single day, and I always make sure the kids have it too. So for my family, my husband has his work that he can do from home. His work actually required for him to work at home. So he's working from home. My kids are off of school, but you know, between my husband and I, somebody's always home. So we haven't had to run into like childcare situations where we have to get, you know, have them go to daycare or something. So thankfully, we're taking that up at home. And then the kids, they also have printed out, the kids also have printed out materials from their school. They were so nice enough to have us pick those up. So what they do is, out of those printed out materials, the kids can take it home and work on it. The teachers also made available the Google Classrooms that the kids can use too. And then thankfully, my parents are doing okay. I myself, I work in healthcare, so I have to work. But measures that my workplace put in place is that they want to make sure that when you're coming at work, you are, you know, as healthy as you can be to take care of this patient. So they're doing employee screening to make sure that we're not running a temperature, that we don't have a cough or anything before we come and care for our patients. So it's been really, it's been crazy. I have never ever experienced a situation like this. I have never, and hopefully this is the last of it that we'll get to experience, because this gets the worst out of people. Of course, you know, everything going on around the world helps unite us. Excuse me. But when you go to a store, I usually go to Costco, and people are just very nice, very zen about their business. They come in, they get their grocery and go home. Today, people are like fighting for items. It's like, I thought we were I thought we're about to hit the peak of all of this, but people are still fighting for groceries at the store. And then the line is as long as can be. I'm really hoping that the elder populations and the immunocompromised patients, that they still have resources available to them. I know Arizona opened up hours for the elders earlier on in the morning so they can come in and do their shopping and go home without having to deal with this crazy crowds. People are crazy out here. I pray that sooner than later that this whole thing will be a thing of the past. I hope you guys are okay. I know not everybody can be okay. But hopefully with time you can get better. I know in Arizona they have 18 confirmed cases as of yesterday. But I was also listening to BBC, which announced that in Italy they've had over 500 deaths. You know, what do you say to that? What do you say to that? I just pray that God keeps us safe. Let's pray for the world. Let's pray for the world, and then do our best, you know, to keep each other safe and healthy. So if you happen to experience any kind of upper respiratory problems, if you're coughing, if you find that you are running a temperature, the best thing you can do before you even go to a hospital. Oh, FYI, if you are in Arizona, I know they announced that you can actually go to a clinic and get tested. You don't have to come to the hospital directly. You can go to the clinic, get tested, and all of that is free. You do not have to have a referral to go to a clinic. You can go directly to a clinic and get tested, because I anticipate the hospitals like being at capacity. And if you really don't need to be there, you don't want to be there. You really don't want to be there if you don't have to be there. And if you happen to be coughing prior to you coming, you want to make sure that you put on a mask. If you have one, put one on. you know, for the safety of the ones who are going to care for you and for the safety of the other patients who are going to be around waiting for care. So if you have a mask, put one on. If you don't have one on, what you can do is, you know, if you're coughing, you know, just cough away. Don't cough amongst everybody. Cough away, cough to your clothing, cough to your upper arm, bend your head down, tilt your head down, and then cough into your clothing. You know, don't cough to your hands, don't cough to everybody's face. You know, let's keep the world safe. Anyway, I am driving home from work, where I work as a nurse, and this whole situation is really, really close to home. I know it's close to home to pretty much everyone, every single person, but it hits you different, you know, when you are around people who are positive, who are tested and just waiting their results, waiting on their results. It's just a little different, you know. We had our first death in Arizona today. I heard about that, and the only thing they released was that he is the patient who, he wasn't really a patient of mine, but the person who died, that he worked in aviation, and that was on the news. And so far we have about 60-something cases of people who tested positive in Arizona. I pray that God gets us through this. It feels so unreal, but yet we're living through it. But you know, in all things, let me speak for myself. I've found a way to be grateful given everything that we're going through, because God knows it could be much, much worse. It could be much, much worse. At least, you know, I have a job to go to. I feel like very soon though they will be checking to see, police will be pulling us over to see who's on the road, because they really want to make sure that everybody is taking all the precautions necessary, staying indoors, because there's absolutely, I feel like there's no soul on the road. I feel like I'm driving alone. This is insanity. Oh, there's a beautiful horse right there. Anyway, yeah, I'm even amongst everything going on, I'm still, even though we're living through all of this, I'm still very, very thankful. Very, very thankful that I have a job to go to. Very, very thankful that I'm not laid off. You know, very thankful that my husband still works. You know, his job now moved everyone to home. They want them to work remotely, and then I'm still able to work, and we are not having to depend on anyone for child care, because I mean, our kids are still home from school. They're not going to be going back. It was initially extended, I believe, till the 27th, and now they have extended it even more till April 10th or so. At this point, no one is sure. Everything changes every day. So I'm blessed that I don't have to rely on somebody else for childcare and worry about the kids being exposed to anything. So really, I am thankful. I am thankful, because I know some people have it much, much worse. Much, much worse than I do. On that note, I am almost home. I will be talking to you guys later. Bye.